This is session 3, remote repositories in Git. What we will learn in the session: initialize remote repositories, push to remote repositories, cloning remote repositories, pull requests. All these things we'll learn in the session, like fetching and pulling, a comparative study, what is the difference between the two, and merge conflicts, how they work. In other words, we are going to work with the repositories on a local machine, assuming that our data we need to push on a remote master, remote repository. That is the assumption, and based on that we are going to understand how it is going to work for us. And the fork. Remote branches. Remote branches are references or pointers in your remote repositories, including branches, tags, and so on. You can get a full list of remote references explicitly with git ls-remote URL or git remote show and the remote URL. For remote branches as well as more information, we can try these commands now. Remote branches. Remote tracking branch name take the form remote/branch. For example, to see what the master branch on your origin remote look like as of last time you communicated with it, you would check using origin/master branch, origin or master branch. If you were working on an issue with a partner, we are going to assume now we are working. If you were working on an issue with a partner and they pushed up an ISS53 branch, assuming that, okay, you might have your own local ISS53 branch. But on the server, branch on the server would be represented by a remote tracking branch, that is origin/ISS53, because he's working on remote, because he pushed on the remote. They pushed onto this, so it will become origin/ISS53. What am I trying to convey? With the example, with the figure, we can understand it. Let's say our Git server is git.ourcompany.com. This is our server, and this is the branch where we are working right now. Master had it pointing to this, and then you clone this, git clone, and you specify git.url of your company, and you clone this branch, and on your system now you have this. On my computer, origin/master, this is a remote branch, and master is a local branch. So both are pointing to same as of now, but they can take different path. If you clone from this, git's clone name it origin for you, pulls down all its data and creates a pointer to where its master branch is, like this, and name it origin/master locally. This is the reference. Git also gives you your own local master branch starting at the same place, and this is your local. Git gives you your own local also, starting from the same point as origin's master branch was. So you have something to work from, because this is your local now. Now you start working on it. This was your company repository. This is on your system. You started with this 4265. You started with this. When you cloned it, you were here. But somebody else is moving here and pushing it. So this pointer is moved. This is someone else pushes, and the branch pointing to this now. Now this is a tricky situation. When you cloned, you were here. So somebody pushed it. This pointer had moved to 190A3, for example. And here you also started working. You continue pushing in your local repository, and your master is in a different. So this A8DE, this is different. This is different. All these commits are different, and this is your master branch. When you cloned, this was the status. You started your own journey. That started their own journey, and that is the status of two repositories now. If you do some work on your local master branch and in the meantime someone else pushes to your git.company, your company.com, and updates its master branch, then your histories have moved forward differently, as you can see in the figure. Both are using a different history, different paths. Also, as long as you stay out of contact with your origin server, you are not connected now, assuming that you are working on local, your path, your origin master pointer does not move, it still remains there. So you have to visualize it. When you are working on Git, if you can't visualize, you will not understand Git. You have to draw figures, you have to understand with the help of these diagrams that make it more clear. So here the remote repository has moved forward, your origin master pointer is still there, your local master is moving forward because you are committing. Now to synchronize your work within a given remote, what do you use? You use git fetch remote. What it will do? Will it merge with your repository? No. What it will do? It will move the origin master pointer which you started with when you cloned the remote repository. Therefore, what you will get is you get all the changes, that is the changes, including this. First is this, first change was this and second was this. So both the changes were pulled, that is called fetch. So this is moved. Now therefore your remote pointer, that is origin master, is moving forward, and this is in sync with the remote repository. But that does not mean that your local master is same. No, because you are pushing yourself, that is different. This is your local master. So that means we have two branches now, one origin master, that is a remote branch, and second is local master, that is your local branch. So this will synchronize, but then you have two different paths. This command looks up which server origin is when you try git fetch remote URL. Then it fetches any data from it that you don't yet have and updates your local database, moving your origin master pointer to its new, more up-to-date position. That's precisely what has happened in this case. So what you did, how you clone a remote repository? Quite simple. There are three possible ways. Git clone URL. You want to clone it into a different directory. You give that path, that directory on your local system. Git clone github.com, some path. So you can specify. This is example of git clone. So you can use this git clone URL like this, or a directory. You can also specify local directory if you want to clone it to a different directory. That path must exist. All repositories are equal, as we know already, but you can treat some particular repositories, such as on GitHub, as master directory, and that's how we work in production. We consider one repository as master. Rest we treat them as one special, different branches of master where we work, different developers work. Typically, that's what happens in production. Typically, each team member work in his or her own repository and merges with other repositories as appropriate. That's how exactly it happens. Pushing, what is it? Your local branches are not automatically synchronized to the remote you write to. You have to explicitly push the branches you want to share. You have to do it. They are not automatically pushed. If you have a branch, let's say server fix, that you want to work with others, then you push it up. So git push origin server fix. So you will get this message, and your new branch will be server fix. So Git automatically expands the server fix branch name out to references head server fix, ref head server fix, which means take my server fix local branch and push it to update the remote server fix branch. That's the meaning of this command. You can also do git push origin service fix colon server fix, which also does the same thing. That meaning of this statement would be if you ask me git push origin server fix, this would mean take my server fix and make it the remote server fix, because you are pushing to origin server fix your local server fix. You can use this format to push a local branch into remote branch that is named differently. Git fetch. When your collaborators fetches from the server, they will get a reference to where the server version of server fix is under the remote branch origin server fix. So you can try this git fetch origin. It will tell you where you are, and this is where you are: server fix, origin server fix. Git merge. What is it? To merge this work into your current working branch, you can run git merge origin / server fix. If you want your own server fix branch that you can work on, you can base it off your server, your remote tracking branch. Git checkout -b server fix origin server fix. Branch server fix setup to track remote branches server fix from origin and switch to new branch server fix. That's how you do. And so you are checking out. That means you will be working on this. This gives you a local branch that you can work on. And interestingly, that where your remote branch is, that is origin / server fix. This is your local branch and this is your remote branch. Now how do we merge conflicts? We have two branches. The conflicting file will contain this angular bracket open and angular bracket multiple 3 times close sections to indicate where the git was unable to resolve the conflict. That's your look after. So this is starting. This is where the original part in head in index.html, this is referring to this, whereas in this it is referring to something else in your special branch in this file. So you have to, this is branch 1 version and branch 2 have this version. So which one is correct? You decide, you finalize one. You can discard one, you can remove one and merge the second one. Find all such sections and edit them to proper state. Whichever of the two version is newer or better or more correct according to you. So how do we track? Checking out local branches from a remote tracking branch automatically create what is called a tracking approach. So and the branch it track is called upstream branch. Tracking branches are local branches that have a direct relationship to a remote branch. If you are on a tracking branch and type git pull, Git automatically knows which server to fetch from and which branch to merge in. When you clone a repository, it generally automatically creates a master branch that tracks origin master. However, you can set up other tracking branches if you wish. One that track branches on other remote or does not track the master branch. The simple case is git checkout -b branch a remote branch. This is common enough operation that Git provides with -- track shorthand. So you can use git checkout track origin server fix. Branch server fix setup to track remote branch server fix from origin and switch to new branch. Tracking branches. To set up local branch with a different name than the remote branch, you can easily use the first version with a different local branch name, like this SF. This is your local branch name. This is your remote branch name. So this is what we discussed earlier also. This is what can help you in giving a new name to the branch which is cloned, which is fetched from the remote. So branch SF is set up to track remote branch server fix from origin. Switch to new branch SF. Now your local branch SF will automatically pull from origin / server fix. If you already have a local branch and want to set it up to a remote branch, you just pull it down. Or want to change the upstream branch you are tracking, you can use -u or -- set upstream to. This option to git branch to explicitly set at any time, like this git branch -u origin server fix. So what you're doing, branch server fix setup to track remote branch server fix from origin. If you want to see what tracking branches you have set up, you can use -VV, verbose mode. This will list out your local branches with more information, including what each branch is tracking and if your local branch is ahead, behind, or both. So get branches, get branch -VVV, and you'll see all your branches. Like this is the branch origin ISS53, ahead to add forgotten brackets. Then we have master branch. This master branch, origin master. These are the comment actually. These are the message part of the git commit. Then master, then server fix, and testing. These are all your branches. You can see all of them. If you want totally up to date, ahead and behind numbers, you need to fetch from all remote writes before running this, like --all. So git fetch -all, then git branch -VVV. These are two commands semicolon separated. Pulling, while git fetch command will fetch all the changes on the server that you don't have it yet, it will not modify your working directory at all. Point to be noted, git fetch command will fetch all changes on the remote server that you don't have yet, but it will not modify your working directory. It will simply get the data for you and let you merge it yourself. But then to help you out, there's a solution, and there's a command called git pull. Essentially, it's basically nothing but git fetch followed by git merge in most cases. So it is better to simply use fetch and merge command explicitly, as the git pull can often be confusing. Deleting remote branches. Suppose you are done with a remote branch. Say you and your collaborators are finished with a feature and have merged it to your remote master branch. How can you delete a remote branch? You can do that using --delete option. So if you want to delete your server fix branch on the remote server, you can use git push origin --delete server fix, and this will delete that. It will simply remove the pointer from that server. Fork, what is it? GitHub fork is a copy of a repository or repo that sits in your account rather than the account from which you fork the data from. In other words, you are copying it. You are making your own personal copy of that branch. Once you have forked a repository, you have your own forked copy. This means that you can edit the content of your forked repository without impacting the parent repository from where you have forked it. When you fork a repo, you make an exact copy of the repository in your own account. Once you created a copy in your account, you own it. Therefore, you can freely modify it as you wish. It is your repository now. This is what you do with fork central repository. This is your fork, so this is your work. And you pull it? No, because this is your work. You cannot pull. So when you do this central repository, you fork it. This is your work. Where you clone your local computer, you are working it. So this push will work. Clone, alright, your local system, edits happening, and you are pushing it, but this is your repository. Now you are no more connected to this. This is no more that, because when you clone it, if you want to fork it, that means you are creating independent data, independent directory for yourself, independent repository. That's a fork command, how it works diagrammatically. I'm sure that will help you in understanding this. That's all for this session. Thank you very much.